So this episode starts in the most unexpected way possible. One of the girls gets a phone call from her dad telling her that a distant relative has passed away. Now, normally sitcoms make death scenes emotional, but not this time, because apparently this aunt was so mean and difficult that nobody really knows how sad they're supposed to act. Instead of crying, the first thing everyone cares about is who gets the giant vintage dollhouse she owned. And honestly, that dollhouse turns out to be one of the coolest props ever used in a sitcom. The moment the house arrives, everyone becomes weirdly obsessed with it. One friend especially gets emotional because as a kid, she was never allowed to actually touch or play with fancy things like this. It always had to stay perfect and untouched. But then another friend walks in and completely destroys the calm atmosphere with pure chaos. Instead of treating the dollhouse like a normal Victorian house, she starts adding the most random things imaginable. Suddenly, there's a giant dog on the roof, a ghost living in the attic, radioactive waste under the basement, and apparently the whole place was built on some cursed ancient land. The funniest part is how serious she sounds while explaining all this nonsense. Everyone else is trying to keep the house elegant and realistic, while she basically turns it into a fantasy disaster movie. And honestly, this is why their friendship dynamic works so well. One person wants everything clean and organized, while the other turns every simple situation into complete madness. Eventually, the arguments get so intense that the dollhouse owner finally snaps and bans all the weird toys from the house. No ghosts, no dinosaurs, no giant radioactive dogs. So, what happens next? The creative friend decides to build her own version of the dollhouse vibe, and somehow it becomes even crazier. Now there's a candy bedroom, a sliding staircase, and rooms that literally smell different. At this point, the house looks less like a Victorian home and more like a child's sugar powered fever dream. And surprisingly, everyone actually loves this version more. That's when the original owner starts getting jealous because her perfect, expensive dollhouse suddenly feels boring compared to the fun, chaotic one. But just when things couldn't get any crazier, disaster strikes. A fire suddenly breaks out inside the dollhouse. Tiny furniture melts, decorations collapse, and everyone starts reacting like it's a real emergency. The panic is completely overdramatic, which somehow makes it even funnier. And the final reveal is absolute sitcom comedy gold. Underneath all the fancy decorations and elegance, hidden inside the destroyed dollhouse are ridiculous secret toys nobody expected to find. This entire episode is honestly one of the best examples of classic sitcom humor. It takes something completely childish, playing with a dollhouse, and turns it into emotional drama, friendship chaos, jealousy, creativity, and total destruction all at the same time. That's why scenes like this still feel entertaining years later. The comedy isn't just about jokes, it's about personalities completely clashing in the funniest ways possible.